Why I hate Mother's Day. I know some people are probably reading the title and gasping, how could you hate Mother's Day? Simple, I hate my mother. I've written several stories about her already, and this is the one about how I wasn't even able to express the negative feelings her horrible treatment brought out in me. Linda, I stopped thinking of her as Mom years ago, would often slam the door when she was angry. But if I did it, I'd get spanked. She was such a hypocrite. If I said something wasn't fair, she'd say I was talking back and I was spanked. She would also sometimes slap me across the face if I did something she didn't like, yelling and screaming at me, calling me names, swearing at me. All was in her arsenal of a plus parenting. Once, after she'd been nasty to me, I had gone to my room and was laying in bed in the dark crying. My back was to the door, and suddenly I heard it fling open. Linda shouted, "What are you crying about?" I froze. I knew better than to say that I was crying because of her. I'd probably just get yelled at more. I didn't know what to say or do, so I just froze in place. Linda snorted and said something like, "Whatever." I can't remember exactly now before leaving. I went back to crying, but this time in silence. I soon learned that it was always better to try to cry in silence so that she couldn't hear me. She'd either get annoyed at my tears or get some perverse satisfaction that she'd upset me that much. Unlike other children who would cry loudly when hurt and be offered hugs and words of comfort, I was forced to suffer in silence. I couldn't show anger or pain, so I started taking it out on my toys. My mother and grandmother both wondered why I damaged them so much, even though it's a textbook case of what psychologically damaged children do when they have no other outlet. When I turned 12, I was finally big enough and old enough to defend myself somewhat physically. When Linda tried to slap me, I jerked to the side so that she hit my shoulder instead. I slapped her back across her own shoulder and glared at her. She was shocked. It was my first time being able to do this. After that, everything changed. All my anger that I never got to show came out after that. We had many days of screaming fights as I told her what a terrible mother and person she was. I told her how much I hated her. She only ever hit me a couple more times after this, after I was an adult, and she never did again the second time after I threatened to call the cops. The other kinds of abuse, however, never stopped. Verbal and emotional abuse flowed from her mouth, and she even stole most of my money. SSI money for disabled people, no less. Until I wised up and opened my own bank account, that is. To this very day, I have trouble expressing my emotions. I tend to either hold everything in or everything comes boiling out. I hate confrontation. I have terrible social anxiety. I have trust issues. I take a small handful of pills every day to help control my bipolar disorder. I was told I have PTSD. I was in major therapy for a long time. I still flinch if I go to a store and hear a parent yelling at their child. I cut off all contact with my family 5 years ago. But every year around this time, whenever I go out, I see advertising for Mother's Day everywhere. It reminds me how every year I would have to give Linda a present and card, smile, and pretend that she was a wonderful mother just so I wouldn't get screamed at. This while inside I seethed with rage. To all the good mothers out there who treat their children right, who give them hugs and love when they are sad, who teach them how to express their anger properly without hurting anyone, who are there for their kids and show them what real love and trust is all about. Thank you. I just wish I could have been your kid instead of hers.